I'm John, and this is Humans for Nature, the channel that looks at the fun, the interesting and the very serious side of global warming. We will cover electric cars, bikes, renewables, solar, wind generation and all things that will help us control the greenhouse gas emissions in Australia and around the world. But aside from that, I'd like to mention this morning that I've been seriously thinking of, as part of this channel, although it's totally separate from global warming, I'd like to tell the story that we tell that Jen and I tell in this book, The Dreamer of the Day. Now, it could prove very interesting. I've got about 150 odd colour images that are used in the photographic edition, and I will split it up into different chapters, and maybe once every fortnight I'll do one and tell the story of our adventurous life. So that is something to come, and hopefully it will be of interest. Now, for today's video, I'm going to sum up a few of the small but interesting aspects of owning a Tesla 3. Firstly, charging the Tesla. It is a very simple matter. The car decides with your input the time and length of charging. I always set charging to start at 10 p.m. That's when at home, because the rate then is at its cheapest, about 19 cents a kilowatt hour instead of 31 cents a kilowatt hour in daytime rates. I usually charge to 70–80% and normally never let it go below 70%, except when we're on a trip. I'm sure this will extend the life of the battery. Now, if we go to my garage, I can show you. You can see the Tesla charger neatly fitted on my wall, and you can see where cable comes down, and I've plugged it into the Tesla. And then what I do is I walk around the back of the car, look through the rear window, and I can see the 15-inch screen. And from there, without going into the car, I can see exactly what the state of charge is and the way that the car is set up. For instance, you can see that I've got it there set at 10 p.m. for starting time. The mileage is wrong, of course, because this is only a test run, but it's very good and it works easy. I don't even have to get into the car. Now, the other thing I enjoy is down the bottom right hand corner. You can press a finger there, and the pressures of the tyres will show up, as you can see now. And that's very handy. In fact, you don't use garages very often. You can check on the pressure of all your tyres, or 4 tyres, and it works well. So I think I've only been into garages
Here's the
twice.
overall side view of the car, and you can see the front boot there. Very large area, and makes a hell of a difference when you're traveling, especially with Jan and I and the dog, and the bike. Works very well.
And we can see here, got quite a large area in the front boot, and you can see we get a reasonable suitcase in there. We can go away for a couple of days with that reasonable sized suitcase. Also, you get a lot of room on the side here. You can get a couple of soft bags. It's amazing the amount of area that you have got for storage. Now, this is on the rear boot, and this is the lower compartment that I've talked to you about before, but I'm going to show you again now using this suitcase. So if I put the suitcase in there, it disappears quite way down. You get a lot more in there. In fact, you get a slightly bigger suitcase. Also, you've got to remember that This has got to then have this compartment put in over the top, and you've got a very large area, very large. And if you can add that to the front, the frunk or whatever they call it, boot, you can get quite a lot, and you don't have to put the rear seats down to make it work. One of the first things I did when I got the Tesla home was to remove the plastic hubs, which you can see one of them to the left here. I didn't like the look of them, and for me they just didn't work. So I took them off, and that's a year ago now, and I've never put them back. They were there for a purpose, I suppose. They're supposed to increase the range by another 3%, but that never worried me. I quite like the way they are. I had to, I'd even ordered as you can see here, these, you can see the hub there. I had to order that, and the studs. I'd ordered those prior to coming before I got the car home. I hope you enjoy the videos and will subscribe to the channel, and also will follow the story of A Dreamer of the Day when I launch the first chapter in the near future. And until then, I'd just like to say g'day and goodbye.